Hello students, welcome to our first video on transformations in the Cartesian plane. In this video we're actually going to look at the Cartesian plane itself. When the Cartesian plane was first set up, it was devised by a man named René Descartes, who wanted to have a way to talk about where an actual object was. And the legend is it was about a fly that was on the ceiling. So in order to set that up, he actually had two sets of values to describe any point on a flat surface or a plane. Those points were defined by where they were along an axis called the x-axis, which is our horizontal. And one of the ways to remember which one is the x-axis is x and h. And our second axis is our y-axis, which is our vertical, which is y and v. Now, look at the letters. X comes before y in the alphabet. H comes before v in the alphabet. So x and h go together, y and v go together. And if we think of horizontal as a horizon, then that makes it a little bit easier to remember. Vertical, we can often think of, if we're playing basketball, about jumping in the air. We talk about our vertical jump. Any point, therefore, on a plane can be defined by its x coordinate and its y coordinate. Now, going this way, all of the x coordinates moving to the right become more positive once they go beyond this line here called our origin. In other words, we need a place that is actually the kind of the center of everything, and that's called the origin. The origin is defined as point 0, 0. So whenever we name any point on the plane, we define those points by an x coordinate and a y coordinate. So for the point of the origin, our x value, think of this as a number line, is going to be at 0. And our y value, again thinking of it as a number line, is 0. So we can talk about the origin as being 0, 0. So our x's always go positive to the right, negative towards the left. Likewise, our y values become more positive as we go up and more negative as we go down. Using what we know from this, we can define any point on the coordinate plane by looking at its x value and its y value. So let's pick a point. I've chosen 3 here. Our first point, let's call our first point right here, and let's look at what this value is. Again, when we want to create our ordered pair, we want the ordered pair to be of the form of the x value. So we've gone over 6, negative 6, and we want to look at our y value of 2. Likewise, we can look at another point. Our x value of this point is negative 1, and our y value is positive 4. And finally, our last point is at negative 4. And once you get better at these, you don't need to draw in the lines, and 6. So we have 3 points that are defined on the coordinate plane by those values in the order pair. The first term being our x, the second term being our y. They're unique points. There's only one that can be there. The last part about the coordinate plane is we can see some patterns in that plane. This first quadrant over here that mathematicians have called Quadrant One, if we look at our values, all of our order pairs are going to be positive numbers for x and positive numbers for y. In Quadrant 2, all of our x values are going to be negative, and our y values are all going to be positive because they are above this line here where every y is equal to 0. In quadrant 3, all of our x values are negative, all of our y values are negative, and finally in quadrant 4, we have positive x values and negative y values. Hopefully that gives you a good overview of the Cartesian plane, and we'll start to look at transformations in the next video.